A very good evening to all our viewers. This is Newsfirst Prime Time News coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. It's a brand new month, the 1st of November 2021. I am Dharma Ratnaik for the Newsfirst team. Here are your headlines for tonight. Ex-US Navy officer and a man deported from Canada arrested in Dengue for the possession of live ammunition and a firearm. President invites world leaders to join hands in an organic agricultural revolution. Another consignment of nano nitrogen fertilizer brought to Sri Lanka with the support of the Indian Air Force. The government was not elected to import substandard fertilizer. A statement from opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. Give Ranjan Ramanayaka a presidential pardon. I am ready to give my national list seat to him. Parliamentarian Harin Fernando reiterates. Heavy rains across several areas. Department of Meteorology warns the general public to remain vigilant over the next 24 hours. In our top story for tonight, a former US Navy officer and an island-registered criminal who were arrested from Dengue, Kandy for the possession of live ammunition, a rifle and walkie-talkies were remanded until the 15th of November when they were produced in court today. The suspects were arrested on the 30th of last month. The Ceylon police conducted a raid at the Victoria Range bungalow in Dengue, Kandy on the 30th of October based on a tip-off. According to the tip-off, the assembling of high-powered motorcycles was taking place at the bungalow. However, police found multiple illegal weaponry inside the bungalow and arrested 2 suspects. The police confiscated 100 live bullets, a Rambo knife, a telescopic sight also known as a scope, a firearm similar to that of an air rifle, and 4 mini walkie-talkies. According to the police, 2 unregistered motorcycles, 4 registered motorcycles, 2 mobile phones, a number plate registered in the United States, a passport and 700,000 rupees in cash were seized from the possession of the suspects. Information has come to light that one of the arrested suspects, 44-year-old Chaminda Aloysius Bandara Disanayaka, has served in the VFA 143rd Squadron of the United States Navy from 2004 to last January. VFA 143 is a US Navy strike fighter squadron based at Air Station Oceania, Virginia. Investigations have revealed that the former US Navy officer has permanent residence listed in Attidiya Dehiwala and has been living on rent in Dengue, Kandy. The other suspect has been identified as Terence Mario Pereira and he has been deported from Canada under criminal charges. Police uncovered that this individual is a permanent resident of Navala, Colombo. Police have also discovered that the live ammunition confiscated from the possession of the 2 suspects is for a 45 automatic Colt pistol, also known as 45 ACP. The 45 ACP is a firearm used by the United States Armed Forces. The 2 suspects were remanded until the 15th of this month after they were produced before Ceylon District Court Judge and Magistrate L.G.V. Fernando. The magistrate had ordered to launch an open investigation into the matter. The magistrate also ordered to obtain the government analyst report on the confiscated live bullets and present it before courts. The Terrorist Investigations Division, commonly known as the TID, has launched an investigation into 702 Sri Lankans who are maintaining close contact with an influential ISIS member based in India. The TID informed Colombo Additional Magistrate Chandimaliyanage in this regard. The court was informed that the details of Sri Lankans were revealed when the WhatsApp account of Mohammed Samsudin, an influential ISIS operator, was investigated, who was arrested by the Indian intelligence services. Detectives also told the court that images and sermons by terrorist Zaharan Hashim were also discovered in the chat. Among the 702 people, 1 person identified as Mohammed Thouzan is already in custody, and the TID had launched an extensive investigation into his links with ISIS and the 2019 April 21st attacks. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has stressed the need for an agricultural revolution that will not threaten nature.
The President was speaking at a conference on rediscovering nitrogen, solutions and synergies for climate change, health, biodiversity and circular economy, a side event at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP26, held in Glasgow, Scotland.
Overuse of nitrogen, especially in fertilizers, has adverse impact on soil, water, air, and human health. For decades, chronic kidney disease has been a serious issue in Sri Lanka's agricultural heartland. The overuse of chemical fertilizers has contributed significantly to this problem. It is in this context that my government took firm steps to reduce imports of chemical fertilizer and strongly encourage organic agriculture. Although this action has been broadly appreciated, it has also met with some criticism and resistance. In addition to chemical fertilizer lobby groups, this resistance has come from farmers who have grown accustomed to overusing fertilizer as an easy means of increasing yields. This is particularly unfortunate considering Sri Lanka's rich agricultural heritage. The challenge facing us now is to use modern scientific techniques and practices to enhance agricultural production without causing environmental degradation. We require a new agricultural revolution that has sustainability at its core.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is expected to address the World Leaders Summit at COP26 tonight.
The Minister of Agriculture today revealed that the support of the Indian Air Force has been sought to bring down the nano nitrogen fertilizer liquid from India to the country. These farmers asked us for fertilizer. This evening, 6 aircraft from India will leave for Sri Lanka carrying this nano nitrogen fertilizer. Since bringing the fertilizer down on ships might be delayed, we spoke to the Indian Air Force and the aircrafts will land at the airport at 4 this evening. Within a week, we will complete dispatching these stocks of nano nitrogen to all agrarian service centers in the island.
Nano nitrogen
Against the backdrop where air support is received from Indian Air Force to bring down liquid nitrogen fertilizer from India, what is the state of the vessel carrying Chinese fertilizer? The movement of this vessel has not been updated on the automatic identification system of the global ship tracking intelligence. However, according to satellite data, the ship appeared in the sea of Sri Lanka near Hambantota on the 24th of last month. As of the 24th of last month, the name of the vessel has been changed from Hippo Spirit to Seyo Explorer. The last confirmed sighting of this vessel was on the 24th of October, 4.18 nautical miles away from the Yala National Park. The vessel appeared on satellite data once again yesterday, and the name of the vessel had been changed to Hippo Spirit once more. However, the exact location of the vessel is yet to be ascertained. Where is the Chinese Hippo Spirit vessel? Farmers continued their protests across several areas in the island today. The All Ceylon Farmers Federation staged a protest in the Ranna town today. The protesters commenced their march at the Kahadawa junction in Katragama Matara and marched to the Ranna town thereafter. Farmers in Mahavilachchi, Anuradhapura pleaded to the gods for solutions to their issues at the Kadirasen Kovil in Anuradhapura. The group of farmers then marched towards the statue of D.S. Senanayaka and spoke about the issues and lamented.
මේ ජීවිතත් එක්ක සෙල්ලම් කරන්නේ ඇයි? මේව අත්හදා බලනවද මේ ජීවිතත් එක්ක? පිට රටට දිවදික් කරන තිරිත උඹලා ගේන්න හැදුවට අපි ඒකට අහු වෙන්නේ නැහැ, යටත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපිට ඕනන්නේ ජීවත් වීමේ අයිතිය.
The Satyagraha launched by farmers of Bakamuna in Alahara entered its 9th day today. The venerable terrors of the area blessed the farmers staging the Satyagraha earlier today. A protest was staged in the Bakamuna town in support of the Satyagraha as well. A protest was staged in Rasagala, Balangoda, demanding authorities to provide the fertilizer required for tea cultivations. Tea planters from the villages of Sitagala, Haramitigala and Uvella in Durakanda, Valeboda, Rasagala staged the protest. A vehicle parade was held in the Nikavaratia town in Kurunagala today, demanding solutions to the fertilizer crisis in the country. Farmers travelled from Millagoda Junction to Nikavaratia. Farmers also pleaded to the gods at the Mahasen statue opposite the Maga Lavava. Small-scale tea estate owners staged a protest in Kottapulla today, demanding fertilizer. The protesters marched from the Gatabarua Devalaya to the Tea Manufacturers Cooperative Society in Kottapulla, Moravakkorale.
දවල් කින්න එක රැට මතක නැහැ රැ කින්න එක උදේට මතක නැහැ දිවවල් 7කින් මූ කතා කරන්නේ මුම් මේ නැනෝ කී කියා ගන්න කෑ ගහනවා මොන නැනෝද ගොනෝ නැනෝ වලින් පුළුවන් ද තේ ගහක් හදන්න කොනික පෝර දෙනවයි කියලා තමයි රසායනික පෝර නැවැත්තුවේ මේ වෙනකොට රසායනික පෝරත් නැහැ කාබනික පෝරත් නැහැ දෙනවයි කියපු වන්දෙත් නැහැ.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa today stressed that the government was not given power to import substandard fertilizer into the country.
Sample gananawa asamat vela fail vela.
Many samples of this fertilizer failed the quality tests conducted by the National Plant Quarantine Service of the country, and this ship carrying substandard fertilizer was turned away. Look at the snobbish nature of these foreign powers. Look at how they have used their power. They have sent this ship that was turned away back to the island. When the commercial attaché of a foreign embassy blacklists the People Bank of Sri Lanka, the finance minister says he is not aware of it. Does this government have no backbone to bring the ambassador of the Chinese embassy and explain to him that this is wrong and that we cannot make payments for substandard fertilizer? Can't they say that they did not get a public mandate to bring substandard fertilizer to the country?
මේක වැරදි බාල පෝරවලට අපිට ගෙවන්න බෑ බාල පෝර ගෙන්නන්න නෙවෙයි ජනවරම ලැබුණේ කියලා කතා කරන්න බැරිද?
The opposition leader expressed these views at the opening of the main office of the head of operations of the Samagi Jana Balavega.
I will make another statement today. If President Gotabaya Rajapaksa wants, he can do this. If you wish, I will step down from my nationalist seat in parliament if you pardon Ranjan Ramanayaka. I make a request from you. I make a request because I do not need a parliamentary seat to carry out the struggle. I remind the public that it is Ranjan Ramanayaka who should be a member of parliament. I came to the Gampaha district not because of any issue with the people of Badulla. If I reach a certain position in the country, will I not work for the people of Badulla? But I believe that when we are from small districts, we fall to a lower level. So I thought I have only 18 years left, and if I am to do something big, I would like to issue a challenge to Basil Rajapaksa. Just like I defeated Shashendra Rajapaksa, I will defeat you as well. For the first time in history, this country is going bankrupt without any money to pay off our debt. Farmers are helpless. All our reservoirs and wells in the country are full. Water is flowing across all canals in farmlands in the country, but farmers cannot cultivate since they do not have fertilizer. 2.2 million farmers in the country are sitting in their barren fields and cursing the authorities while they helplessly watch the rains fall. The Rajapaksa regime is the government that will take the country into a famine after the Second World War. The father, who is said to have saved the country, did not only turn the entire country into a barren field. You must also remember that steps are being taken to import poisonous fertilizer from overseas and take away this land from us as well.
More news follows after this short commercial break.
Incidents of abuse have hugely escalated due to COVID-related stress. Don't mask yourself from recognizing and reporting abuse. Be responsible. Reach out. Call 077 5676 555. Times are hard. Don't let it get harder.
Sarvodaya Development Finance.
Initial public offering opening on 23rd November 2021.
Invest in humanity.
Welcome back to the news. According to the Department of Meteorology, the prevailing showery condition will continue in the western, Sabaragamuwa central, north central, northwestern provinces and the districts of Mana, Badulla, Galle and Matara. Adding further, Department of Meteorology said that showers exceeding 100 millimeters can be expected in several other areas of the island as well.
Residents of low-lying areas of Monragala were advised to be vigilant today, as the Kumukkangoe in Monragala is expected to overflow tonight. An earth embankment collapsed onto the railroad close to the Demodara railway station. Due to this, train travel from Badulla to Bandaravilla was hampered today. The Alla Divisional Secretariat said today that 37 people of 12 families in Halpevatta have been sent to safe locations after an earth embankment collapsed onto a line of estate houses. An earth embankment collapsed onto the Gampola Nuarelia road in Delpitia today. The Mana road and the surrounding low-lying areas were inundated after the spill gates of the Rajangane reservoir were opened. A three-wheeler driver travelling back to his residence after hearing the news of a lightning bolt striking his residence faced an unexpected incident. A tamarind tree along the Anagarika Dharmapala Mawat in Anuradhapura collapsed onto the moving three-wheeler and caused heavy damage to the vehicle. Fortunately, the three-wheeler driver had seen the uprooting tree and managed to save himself. According to the National Building and Research Organization, landslide warnings were issued to the Passara Divisional Secretariat in the Badulla district and to the Aranayaka Divisional Secretariat in the Kegalle district until 9 p.m. tonight.
As Sri Lanka battles the COVID-19 pandemic, another disease has been battering the country in the background. Dengue cases have not seen a reduction since 2020 as the country goes in and out of island-wide lockdowns. The Department of Meteorology has also predicted heavy showers in the country over the next few days, compounding this worrying trend.
In 2020, Sri Lanka reported a total of 31,162 dengue patients, out of which 11,608 patients were reported in the month of January. During the same period in 2021, Sri Lanka has kept a tight grip over the number of dengue patients as January recorded 1,908 cases. Thereafter, cases stayed relatively the same, with only July recording 2,592 cases, the highest so far this year.
Sri Lanka is still recording a high amount of dengue cases in the country. Now, this is even with 2 lockdowns that were imposed island-wide, interprovincial travel restrictions and even curfews.
Against such a backdrop, the Department of Meteorology has warned that showery conditions over most parts of the island will enhance in the next few days.
With this rainfall, the number of dengue patients are increasing significantly. According to the number of cases reported to the National Dengue Control Unit, the total number in this year as of now is 22,186. So if you have a fever for more than 2 days, you should not delay in seeking medical care. Don't just wait at home without getting proper medical care. Because we are in a COVID-19 pandemic, when we get fever, it's normal that we are more concerned that we have COVID, but it's very important to remember that this fever also can be a dengue fever.
How do you control this?
The main method to control or prevent dengue is to combat the mosquito. So this is achieved through prevention of mosquito breeding. So it is very important to prevent mosquitoes from accessing egg-laying habitats in your premises. One measure is to dispose solid waste properly and also to remove artificial man-made habitats like coconut shells, yogurt cups, etc. that can hold water. In addition, open water storage tanks, barrels, etc. can also be possible mosquito breeding sites. So it's very important that you cover them properly or empty or clean water storage containers on a regular weekly basis.
On to another trending story. Ceylon Electricity Board trade unions are preparing for a strike action opposing the transfer of a 40% stake of the Kerawalapitia power plant and the award of a contract to supply LNG to the country to the American New Fortress company.
Joint Alliance of Petroleum, Port and Electricity against sale of national assets, including trade unions of the Ceylon Electricity Board, convened a media briefing today.
There is no strike action on the 3rd. We will leave back essential employees at power plants and bring the officials in charge of maintenance to Colombo. When launching a strike, we think about it in many ways. We will be scheduling dates for this on the 3rd. We will not cut the supply of power when we are staging our strike action. The responsibility of maintaining the supply of power is up to Basil Rajapaksa, Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa. As far as we know, if we are not at power plants, the supply of power cannot be maintained. An extraordinary gazette was issued making post and petroleum employees part of an essential service. The gazette notification for essential service has not been issued in respect of CEB employees. Was this a mistake or did they forget? No, it was not. If the CEB stages a 24-hour strike action, everything in the country will collapse. These rulers do not care if the entire country collapses after a CEB strike. They have already doomed the country through this deal with the American New Fortress company. They have already done the worst thing that can be done to compromise our national security. We saw differently able soldiers being put on the street under the theme Mahinda Sulanga, and they asked the people if they were happy now. Then came the Gotabaya Sulanga. He issued gazettes and cut down forests. Then they secured a 2/3 majority in parliament. Then came the Basil Gale wins. Now things are going good. They said he has 7 brains and that he will reduce fuel prices. The General Secretary of the Pohotua sent letters and the people just watched as the prices of fuel increased and the price of gas cylinders doubled. They have fallen into the pocket of Adani. It is now clear that until Adani develops the West Container Terminal and establishes his business, they are not going to develop the East Container Terminal. When these 3 institutions are not in operation, not only the employees, even the people of this country will not have a way to live.
ඒට බලන්නකො මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. තුන්වෙනි තප්පරට වැඩවලදී දැක්කේ කියන පැය 48ක. මම හිතන්නේ නැහැ විදුලි බලනේ සේවක මහත්තුරු එහෙම කරයි කියලා. අපිටමාට කොහොමද එහෙම විශ්වාසවන්තව කියන්නේ නමුත් අපි දක්වන්නේ ගම්මන්පිල මන්ත්‍රීවරලා සහ අනිත් මන්ත්‍රීවරු කියනවා එහෙමනේ. ගම්මන්පිල මන්ත්‍රීතුමාට වැරදිලානේ.
He is mistaken. He says he is against the handing over of 40% of the shares. The thermal power plant in Kalanitissa is being operated by the Americans. It was only recently taken over by the Japanese. Were they comatose then? The CB acquires only around 10% of their supply from Kerawalapitia. Did anyone raise their voices when Kalanitissa was taken over by the Japanese? No. The transaction went ahead smoothly.
ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒ ගනුදෙනුව කරගත්තා.
අමතරව ඒකට ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ මේක කිසිම රජයකින් සිදු නොවිච්ච මේ දූෂිත මේ ගනුදෙනුවක් කියලා.
ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මතේනේ ඒකට අපි උත්තර දෙන්න.
11 parties affiliated with the government are already criticizing their own government over the LNG deal. Representatives of the governing party responded to these statements today. It is estimated that a power plant similar to the Yugadanavi power plant can be constructed at a cost of $225 million. But this American company New Fortress has agreed to purchase only 40% of the shares of this power plant for $250 million, which is a higher price than that. So the people who speak about this must explain to the people of the country as to if this deal is advantageous to the country. The American New Fortress company has said that a unit of LNG will be provided at $1.40. The lowest tender that we got when Minister Gamman Pilla called for tenders was to purchase a unit at $3.15 for a period of 15 years. So instead of getting a unit at $1.40, should we spend twice as much and purchase it at $3.15? This is what they are fighting for. Some people get some sort of political sickness. They want to secure many positions. When they are in parliament, they want to become a minister. When they are a minister, they want to become the prime minister or the president. After some politicians get this sickness, even though the position doesn't fit them, they try it out. They try out for these positions and in the end, they don't get the office of prime minister or the president. They end up in a jumpsuit. All of these parties joined hands and established this government. When the representatives of the main party went silent after many cases were filed against them, it was the representatives of minor parties that spoke out. So I believe creating an opinion that certain members must be sacked and treating them differently is undemocratic. Former President Maithripala Sirisena also spoke about this matter. This is a usual discussion that is going on. This is the nature of a government. This is not the first time that something like this happened inside a government in Sri Lanka. When a government is established, there are certain differences of opinion among members of the government. There will be debates and certain issues may arise. If you consider the history of our parliament, these sort of incidents took place since 1947. So, this is not something surprising. The case filed over the charges of misusing public funds in purchasing a 16-acre plot of land in Malwana, constructing a mansion, a swimming pool and a functioning animal farm was taken up before the Gampaha High Court once again today. Chartered architect Mudita Upali Jayakodi, who is a suspect named in the case, informed court today that the mansion in Malwana was constructed through a constructor with the money provided by Basil Rajapaksa. Responding to cross-examination by the President's counsel who appeared for the accused, Upali Jayakodi further stated that he gave the money he received to a contractor. He also noted that he obtained a receipt when providing the money to the contractor and informed court that he acknowledged the receipt belonging to a company he owned. The case has been filed by the Attorney General under the Money Laundering Act against Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa and businessman Tirukumana Desan on 3 indictments over the purchase of a 16-acre plot of land in Malwana Dompe and constructing a house and a pool and misusing public funds.
A novel program launched by the Janata Vimukti Peramuna to pave a new path inclusive of opinions and recommendations from the people commenced today.
The new program titled Let's Start from the Village or Gamin Patangamu was launched in Maharagama today under the auspices of the leader of the JVP, Anurakumara Disanayaka. We will implement this in all districts starting from today. All members of our party will go to the villages and discuss these matters with the people. Therefore, we expect to give new hope to the people of this country by paving this new path and getting the people involved actively in this program. We have received many requests to come to the village and meet the people there as they are ready to join us. We began this program to go and meet them. Therefore, we are confident that this initiative, which commenced today, the 1st of November, will give our country courage and confidence to create a new political journey. Therefore, we are prepared to launch this program in every village across all districts of the island, starting from today.
District Pura, Gampura, Diat Karana Sudan and Kalatibino.
What you witnessed from that montage was how the lives of the people who were affected for over 6 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic returned to normalcy today. Interprovincial transport services resumed today as well as railway services. 2 trains, however, collided head-on due to a faulty warning system.
Interprovincial railway services resumed today. The General Manager of Railways said that 152 train rounds operated today. However, the general public had to face many difficulties in reaching their places of work or their final destinations from the train station. An accident occurred at the Peralanda railway station in Ragama this morning. An office train plying from Negombo to Colombo had met with this accident at the Peralanda railway station. The office train had collided with a train stopped at the railway station due to a breakdown in the warning system. The railway department said that a certain group had cut a wire connecting a warning system at a bridge close to the Peralanda railway station. However, our correspondent said that 2 people who had suffered minor injuries due to the accident were hospitalized. Commuters on board the train had to experience a delay of about 1 hour. Delays in trains that operated along the main railway track and the Putlam railway track were reported today. Due to malfunctions in the warning systems, all trains were delayed by about half an hour. Railways General Manager Dhammika Jayasundara said that the malfunctions were reported along the railway tracks from Maradana to Pallevela and Putlam, as well as the railway track from Negombo to Ragama. This was the situation at the Fort Railway Station this morning. Passengers were turned back as no long-distance railway services operated from the Fort Railway Station today. The program to administer booster shots against COVID-19 began today. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said that healthcare workers, members of the Triforces, the police, officials at the airport and people connected to the tourism industry and other frontline workers will be given a booster dose of the vaccine. People who received both doses of the vaccine more than 6 months ago are eligible to receive the booster shot. Dr. Hemantha Herat said that this initiative will be conducted across the island in the future. Members of the army received the booster shot at the Narahempita Army Hospital today. The Army Commander General Shavendra Silva was also present. We are seeing positive results because the people of this nation sacrificed a lot. Also, to provide some sort of concession to the public, certain restrictions were relaxed. However, relaxing these restrictions does not mean that COVID-19 has been eradicated from the country. Although you may have been fully vaccinated, you should be cautious.
In some encouraging news, the University Grants Commission says more students have gained entrance to state universities this year. Newsfirst's Ahmed Bouzo reports on how students have been selected to the aforementioned universities.
The university cut-off marks for the academic year 2020-2021 were released by the University Grants Commission on Friday.
The University Grants Commission says that there is an increase of over 1,300 university entrants this year. So according to reports, it was revealed that with the additional students, the UGC has enrolled a total of over 41,000 students this intake, which is an increase of approximately 41%.
According to reports from the University Grants Commission, of the 194,390 eligible students, 41,510 have been accepted into state universities this year. When comparing this year's intake with last year's, there is an increase of 1,399 students for this year.
We are introducing 16 new degree programs in 17 national universities.
According to the University Grants Commission, approximately 10,045 students for bioscience, 7,926 students for physical science, 7,758 students for management and commerce, 11,355 students for arts, 2,195 students for engineering technology, 1,593 students for biotechnology, and 638 students for other subjects have been admitted in this year's intake. Newsfirst inquired from the chairman of the University Grants Commission on the procedure followed to integrate students who were not accepted to universities despite being eligible to gain university entrance.
Government is going to establish another 10 city universities in 10 districts. Very soon, Education Ministry is going to establish the first city university in Kegol, and the team of academics are working on this project, and UGC is helping for syllabus developments and to establish universities under the University Act.
A media briefing was held today at the Presidential Media Centre to apprise the public of the duties vested with the Presidential Task Force appointed to study the implementation of the concept One Country, One Law. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force, Venerable Galgodatte Gnanasarathera, also participated at the media briefing.
We do not have the power to draft laws. We are tasked with studying and implementing the concept one country, one law and compiling a report. Thereafter, the legislature will decide whether to draft these laws or not. Also, we have to determine whether the laws that are already drafted by the Ministry of Justice are suitable enough. We hope to compile the report after holding discussions with everyone and present it to the President.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාට නියමිත කාලය තුල බාර දෙන්න තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ.
මේ කියන්නේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යතුමාත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරලාද මේ පත්වීම කළා තියෙන්නේ ඔහුගේ අනුගමනයත් ඇතිව.
අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යතුමා The Minister of Justice met with the President, but a newspaper had published a report suggesting otherwise. That report must have been published before the President spoke to the Justice Minister. However, the President met with the Justice Minister.
සාකච්ඡා කරා.
මේ බුදුබල සේනාව වැඩ
The Bodubala Sena initiative will continue, but it is the same details that we talked about in the Bodubala Sena that we have to bring up again according to this Gazette notification. Those will be the same things that we will have to include in this draft bill as well. Bodubala Sena did not operate in the same manner it used to due to the prevailing situation. I was vested with another responsibility. It was during that time that I was given this responsibility. There is no reason to entangle these two any further. We have received the opportunity to make things that we discussed a reality, and we are committed towards that.
කැපවීමට තමයි අපේ කල්පනාව. මේ සමාජීය පිරිසත් එක්ක
The first annual conference for the Office of the National Unity and Reconciliation Sri Lanka was held at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday.
The theme of the conference was resolving differences through understanding, sustainable peace, security and reconciliation in a modern society.
An institution like this is so important. Continue to fight on the ground level to create that empathy. I think Sri Lanka lacks a lot of empathy. We need empathy, we need compassion. Many countries have gone this far due to that. For the last 20 years, Justice Ministry had not reviewed more than 32 laws. Last 20 years. So we have put together a system which are looking at 162 laws within 14 months despite COVID, because we can't sit idle when the country go on the wrong direction. We need to stand up and fight for the right thing.
Chasing a target of 164 runs for victory to keep their hopes alive for a place in the semi-finals of this year's T20 World Cup, Sri Lanka were 24 for the loss of 1 wicket a short while ago. And with that, it's a wrap of primetime news on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jama Ratnaik alongside our sign language interpreter for tonight, Brandy Cruz. Do remember to stay safe, take care and have yourself a good night.